Ticker symbol SPY has been making some pretty nice moves to the upside. Let's go ahead and see what the potentials are as we could be approaching a potential bull trap. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with a ticker symbol SPY, technicals and raw price action thread of analysis on this happy Monday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so let's go ahead and look at some conditions here, okay? So I want to start off, first of all, by saying that the resistance that we're facing right now is due to a gap on the daily time frame, right? So this is that gap right over here. I just want to show you what that gap looks like, right? So this is that gap that we're facing the resistance from. This is literally why we can't move to the upside, right? So the price action appears to be knocking at the door of it to try to succeed into closing that gap, right? So I can't say that we're just going to capitulate from that zone, as there could still be a continuation to the upside in some of the time frames, right? So what I want to express though is that as we do get closer to this top side range here, let me just go ahead and kind of draw it in, right? Just like this here. As we do get closer to this range here, there could be, I mean, even if we did reach that top side right there, that would indicate a very heavy resistance, right? So if it isn't already faced within this zone here, right? Because usually when we're actually making a series of higher highs, right, you want to get exponential growth, right? So in this case, we're pulling back at not so much higher than this top side here, right? So that's already kind of indicating a little bit of weakness, right? But it's still okay. The price action can continue to the upside. It's just that people are starting to grow weary, right? So let's go ahead and continue on to the short-term time frame analysis and see what we can kind of view or observe from an immediate short-term time frame, right? So pretty nice upside. Oh my goodness, come on, man. Let me just go ahead and scooch this all the way to just like this. Here we go. Okay, so we have an upside pivot both on the EMA3 and the SMA14 of the stochastic momentum with increasing volatility. Okay, so please remember, though, that this is the 30-minute time frame, and it's likely to live out pretty fast, right? So in this case, that could indicate a potential continuation to the upside to eventually find resistance at about 421.26. Right, so let's continue on and see what else we have. Let's go to the bi-hourly, actually, instead of the hourly time frame. So we'll jump up 2 time frames and let's see what we have. Okay, so any minute now. There we go. All right, so another thing to notice here is that we have decreasing volatility, okay? And it's getting, the volatility component is very well within a critical contraction, right? So that really means that there's nothing happening, right? So, and it's curious that we're still getting an upside continuation. Okay, so that's very curious. Another thing to kind of note here, okay, is that when you have an upside pivot, well, actually, let me just go ahead and validate what I'm talking about here, right? So this is continuation, right? And then we have a decrease in volume. Okay, so this decrease in volume, of course, it just is indicative of weakness from the bulls, but it's not necessarily creating any trap situation just yet. Okay, so in fact, the bi-hourly iteration here with the 3-day exponential moving average showing just that little bit of weakness is a little bit of a danger, for the bulls here. What I do like is that it's actually starting to curl. So if we do get a continuation to the upside here, that would mean something very interesting. That would actually mean that we would get increasing volatility paired with stochastic momentum with an upside pivot from the bullish control zone. If that happens on the bi-hourly time frame, then these targets up here are very likely. So 429.68 to 431.73, but it's entirely conditional, and I do have to be abundantly clear about that. It's very conditional. Okay, so another thing here to notice is that we're starting to get an upside pivot on the MACD. If we do get a bullish cross from the MACD signal line, that would be that would be incredibly bullish, right? And we would continue on to the upside. And it looks like the bears are losing a little bit of pressure here, still within the immediate short-term time frame, though. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the 4-hour and see what we have. Okay, so the 4-hour momentum is suggesting a correction now. It's actually pivoting towards the upside, and volatility looks like it may start to increase. Okay, so this is why I mean that there is still an upside to look at, right? So, but we really have some other targets to kind of keep in mind here. Another very discretionary target to kind of keep in mind is actually within the 4-hour gap right over here. Okay, you guys, so that can present a serious danger to the bulls as well. Okay, so we'll keep that in mind actually for our geometric targets that we're gonna apply to. Okay, so here you can see on the 6-hour time frame that the bulls are losing strength, and we are also suggesting a continuation to the downside on the stochastics. I like the fact that the 3-day moving average does have that little pivot towards the upside, but that may not suggest a continuation to the upside, as we do have decreasing volatility and crossing below the moving average. Okay, also the money flow index is showing that there is outbound disbursement of returns, right? So this is cash flowing out, as in distribution, right? So let's go ahead and continue on to the 8-hour and see what else we have. Okay, so the 8-hour time frame with an even less upside pivot here, getting a little bit of weakness from that volatility component. The moving average still looks very healthy, right? So this is already good. What this happened here is that when we got that upside pivot right from down at this area here, crossing the 15%, with that upside on the stochastics, that was the reason we got this massive upside here. Okay, so as you can see it. I'm literally crossing around the price action where the candles were going, right? So as I cross here with the mouse, look at this area here too, right? So check it out. Right at this upside, you can see that that's where we got that upside on the stochastic versus volatility, right? So that is already, it's looking like it could have already matured, because we are overextended on stochastics, okay? But that's okay. It's just we have to practice absolute risk management here, okay? So now jumping onto the 12-hour time frame let's see if we have any upside continuation. In fact, only the RSI is suggesting a potential upside continuation, and I would have to point out this too, as this has a very, very low hit rate, right? So what you're looking at here is kind of I hate that my box is actually let me just go ahead and make sure that it doesn't extend right. There we go. Okay, so this is a bull flag, right? A very textbook bull flag too. So this formation nowadays has a very, very low hit rate, and it does not realize the upside often. Okay, so we could be at the verge of changing the narrative of a bull flag, right? So this often fails now. Okay, so as it is a very old, and kind of everyone knows what this is, so it's very easy to kind of put a set of bull trap within these bull flags, right? So let's go ahead and look at the daily time frame to see what else we have in line for the ticker symbol SPY, right? So the daily time frame is suggesting a continuation to the upside still, right? So, but I want you to also keep in mind that the time frames below the 12-hour all the way up to the 30-minute would essentially work as the influencers for the upper term time frames. Right, so we need a cascading effect just like that, okay, you guys? So I'm not going to lie to you, it's not clear to see what we can be seeing here, as there could be some consolidation within this area as we're already kind of starting it, right? So we'll go ahead and see what happens, and we'll keep an eye on it, all right, you guys? But the broader markets is something that we should keep in mind, generally speaking, right? So please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell or hold any assets whatsoever. Okay, you guys, I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. Okay, you guys, but with that said, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.